my gosh, guys, y'all are some savages. I read the top comment on the last video. Actually, all of the comments had me dead. You guys think I'm gonna be a dad, got a boosted baby on the way. I guess it's kind of related to that, but you guys will learn more about my life update here at some point, probably in the near future. But yeah, moving forward, we got a pretty cool video for you guys today. We got some tuning to do on the Routacy, and we got some jet boat updates. So let's get to it. Making a quick E85 run for the minivan. Setting that guy right here on the passenger seat of the, got some E85 on the seat. For anyone that doesn't think I don't daily drive the Porsche, I definitely do. Sorry about getting gas on the car. You can tell by my wheels as well that I daily drive it because it gets very gross very fast. But in case any of you have been wondering about how the Porsche does as a daily, it is great. I love it. Such a fun little car. Really glad I picked this thing up, and you know, I really haven't filmed too much with it since we got it. Need to give it a bath, but awesome car as a daily. Would recommend a Cayman S. All right guys, today we are taking our 1,000 horsepower minivan for its first test drive after all of the changes we have made. We got upgraded axles in there now, and we have the minivan running on a Fuel Tech ECU, new engine management, so we're getting all of that stuff dialed in. It's actually very set up similar to how the MR2 is, so we actually booted the MR2's tune-up into the Routacy here, and we're going to be making some minute changes to that just to get her dialed in. But it fired right up, and it seems like it's running pretty good as is, but we're just going to go ahead and take it for a test drive, get into some boost, and see where everything's kind of sitting, make sure the fuel looks good, and you know, just get this thing back out on the streets again. I'm really excited to have the Routacy running once again, finally. We also got a 4-port boost solenoid hooked up. You can see that guy back there, so we'll actually be able to turn this thing up if all goes good and make some more boost and, you know, just get her ripping again. We also have the new transmission with the billet bell housing, so this will be a good first kind of real test on that. We did drive the van already around, as you guys saw. We had like Jamie in the back, and we just kind of got a test drive, but we didn't really get into any serious boost yet. So today, boys, the Routacy is going to be making some real boost today, and just kind of go from there. But yeah, let's do it. Gear and actually turn up our boost through the computer, and yeah, we have it turned down pretty far right now just to kind of feel it out, but she's gonna come around here pretty soon. Yeah, that felt pretty good for a first little rip. Not bad. All the months of dust is flying around. Yep, we found the issue. Intercooler boot was not tight right there, so that guy popped off. Started going up on that duty cycle, started making some boost, and it found our clamp we didn't tighten.
Yeah, I think it made about 15 pounds and let go, so.
Yep, I was thinking it might have had something to do with the boost controller, but completely forgot that we can also have intercooler boots pop off. So get her back to the house and get that retightened. Go for round 2. Looks like we have a small water leak down there too.
Yeah, we got
from
one
our
leaking
pump.
over here and here.
Yep, getting her all ironed out here, boys. It's been a long time since the Odyssey has seen any street use. We saw a Mustang go by earlier on a set of slicks, and I really wanted to turn around and follow him. And then we saw a Ferrari go past us. Dude, they are just teasing us. If the van was running top notch, we'd be going after these guys. All right, silicone coupler is fixed. We are good to go for another drive.
Turned up the duty cycle too, so just gonna let her eat.
Rousey's about to be back, baby.
About it.
Didn't hurt nobody. There's definitely a little bit of a drivetrain vibration now that we're gonna have to look at.
Yeah.
After that last one,
I think it probably made the diff, you know, bend that bracket a little bit more.
We still need to do the drivetrain from the transfer case back.
Yep.
Get that all dialed.
But buddy, she came to life there.
So we found why it's probably vibrating pretty bad. Our diff has angled up pretty severely. I don't know how well you can see that on camera, but it was straight. Now it has a pretty gnarly angle coming up. Every time this thing gets turned way up, the whole diff just tweaks like crazy. Definitely gonna have to rework that, which we're doing anyways because we got the wagon differential for this thing, and this is the CRV diff. We did this in Florida. It was front wheel drive when we came down, and I literally had like one night to get it all wheel drive. So I knocked out that viscous mount and the diff mount and just made it work. So it's definitely not the most thought out engineered deal, but we'll get it fixed. Got a lot of hoses going on over here.
Whole lot of riggery going on.
Testing his homemade power steering setup here.
Yep.
Got the pump on the ground.
Yep. So just a refresher for people that don't know, this is just a Volvo electric power steering pump. Not sure how it's gonna work, so kind of rigged this up to test it.
Got her hooked up to the old jump box here.
Yep. Got my little amp meter in there so I can see how much amperage is drawing.
Don't think it can be any worse than it was.
Definitely not.
She's a heavy girl.
Yeah.
Definitely gonna need some assistance.
Not the easiest to steer.
Oh, that was a spark. Oh, she is spooling up.
Just like that, she's running, chooching away, and we're sitting at about 9 amps of current draw, 8 amps, so it's falling as it comes into pressure. And I guess we'll give her a little steer, huh? Buddy.
Is it working?
Dude, that
looks like you're turning pretty easily.
Yeah, that's full weight on the tires.
Dang.
So one thing I do want to see is I noticed an issue with these pumps that a lot of people had is when you kind of jerk the wheel, it gets stiff because I guess the pump can't kind of keep up. So I'm kind of curious. Definitely a little stiff until it kind of catches up, but it's steerable. It's definitely better than it was.
Oh, way better. You couldn't even turn it before.
Yeah, like right now you can go walk to walk with just a finger on it, really. But, yeah. one finger.
Power steering life.
Go lock to lock. It does work. So definitely.
I think you're gonna have to. You'll have to have power steering of some sort.
Yeah. Well, it's either this or put a mechanical pump back on it. The mechanical pump would save me a lot of belt routing stuff, but
you'll
the
have to
mechanical
get,
pump, you get a lot of.
And you have to have the engine running.
That too. Whereas this would be nice, you gotta load it on the trailer.
Yeah, imagine this thing freaking blows up and we got no power steering.
Yeah, for real.
Oh shoot, boys. DHL just stopped by. Got ourselves some jet boat parts. Been waiting on this thing for freaking a minute. And this is our custom flywheel. And this is what is gonna let us adapt the K-Series to our Scott water jet drive unit. Oh yeah, that's exactly what I was expecting.
Sheesh.
So it looks like it just uses 4 of the
Flywheel bolts.
Check that out. So instead of using all 8 of the factory flywheel bolts, they only used 4, and then you have a spot where a drive shaft flange can bolt right up to that. It's threaded.
Yeah, it uses like a 1310 or something.
Yep, I believe it's a 1310, and then we're just gonna have a short stubby drive shaft come straight off of that guy.
Nice.
Be good to go.
Flip around technically.
Yeah.
Or is that the snout side?
No, this is the flywheel bolts go in through here.
Yeah, okay.
And that's the indent where the flange would go.
Gotcha.
So I did have it backwards there.
That's a pretty nice unit.
Yeah, that's nice,
Yeah,
dude.
takes care of so many issues we were gonna fight with this thing.
Yeah, we weren't quite sure on how we were gonna do the flywheel. We were talking to Tom. If you guys know our buddy Tom with the orange jet boat, he had a custom flywheel done, and it involved a lot of machining and drilling and rethreading and stuff, which we were about to go down that route. You know, it was gonna be a lot of work, but they already had this kind of figured out, so that looks really good. That's clean and simple.
It's a sweet unit.
Ready to roll.
Simple.
Yep, so that'll just bolt right on.
KISS, that's what they always say.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll just go on like that.
Heck
We'll have to
yeah.
get our engine back into place and just get a measurement here. Should be good to go, boys.
Get a drive shaft, get that engine permanently mounted. About done with the wiring of this thing.
Yeah, get her all wired up.
Dude.
Get some fuel going to that thing, pop it over.
Yeah.
Stick it in the water.
We still got a ton to do,
Yeah,
but
there's still so much to do.
It's friggin'
I just wanna see
motivating.
it go already.
Yeah. It's very motivating to see it.
Jet boats are a lot of work, boys. If you plan on doing one of these yourself, be prepared to spend a lot of hours in the garage.
And a lot of money.
Yeah,
They're expensive too.
Take a lot of time, but it's gonna work.
It's worth it in the end.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be sweet.
Not many people can say their jet boats have VTEC.
This is true.
All right, guys, I'm over here at Universal Drive Shafts, and we have our drive shaft for the jet boat. Look at that little guy right there. Stubby
Pretty
little
sick,
drive shaft for the boat. So these are just 1310 joints on both sides with a slip in the middle.
Yep, little slide. When you
Just
get
to
it
make
bolted
it
in, yeah. It's
Easier to
tight.
install.
Yeah. We got plenty of room.
Yeah, that's a pretty stout little unit.
Yeah, I couldn't get a sticker on there. There's no space.
All good, my man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So we just measured from the face of the flywheel to the face of
So
our
you got, it
flange
collapses
on the jet unit.
1/4 inch shorter than what you need. So you'll be able to pull it back out to your size that you need it for.
Okay,
so you can install
so it collapses down to about
1/4
7 1/4.
No, 7 1/2 because you need 7 3/4.
Okay, yeah, 7
So 7
1/2
1/2 is as far as you can get it to collapse to slide it in, and then you can open it up.
Okay,
it's just
cool.
to make it installing easier, so you don't got to move your engine around.
Yeah, that slip joint in the middle there is so we can actually service it without having to unbolt the entire engine.
Yeah, because that'd be too much
move
work
it, yeah.
to move the engine, so that'll be easier for you.
Cool, cool. That was the last piece we needed.
Sick.
Now the K-Series will be mated to our jet drive, and then it's a matter of getting that thing running, getting it steering, making sure it doesn't have any holes and it floats.
Yeah, yeah, it floats.
And, go from there.
All right, man.
But yeah, appreciate it.
next time, man.
Thanks, guys.
All right, man.
All right, guys, I am back at the shop with our drive shaft for the jet boat, and I am so freaking pumped because this was the last piece we needed to attach the K-Series engine to our Scott water jet unit back there. And after this, boys, I mean, it is all downhill from there. Everything else is, you know, off the shelf stuff. We do have some steering components that are on the way, and I guess there is still some things we got to figure out, but you know, getting that custom flywheel and this drive shaft made to go to our custom, you know, jet boat drive there was the biggest hurdle to overcome. And then we still have to figure out some clearance stuff on the engine. But boys, you know, we got all the pieces we need here. This thing is definitely looking really good for the K-swap. When we first went into this project, we didn't know if we were gonna make a K-swap work in the jet boat, and we were worried we might have to go down the route of running, you know, a typical Sea-Doo setup or something out of a jet ski. But I am very confident, boys, that we're gonna make the K-swap work. So I'm pumped. Let's go ahead and get this drive shaft bolted in and just kind of see how everything is looking. All right, guys, got the drive shaft in. Check it out. She lines up great. Only got one bolt in it on each side right now, you know, Kyle thinks, but it has the center ring there that centers it up, so it's good to go. Those bolts are tight, and I want to see it spin. So we're gonna jump start the starter right now with the jump box and watch it turn over a little bit. The motor is not yet mounted into place, but now that we got the drive shaft, we can get everything perfectly lined up, do some final measurements, and we can actually bolt this thing down. I'm just gonna click it once gently. Oh shoot,
Perfect.
That is gonna work, dude. Dude, that is sick.
Oh yeah, dude.
That is gonna work.
Let's just not even worry about wiring it up. We'll just run it on the starter. Could put it in the water.
Yeah, dude, get in. I'll just crank it over.
Yep, just hold the starter going.
2 mile an hour, just putting.
Yep.
Probably wouldn't even move.
Solid, dude. This is gonna be so sick.
Excited for this. That's everything, though. I mean,
Freaking K-swap
It is.
jet boat, baby.
I made the video and thumbnail saying, "Oh, it's officially K-swapped," when we kind of, you know, clickbaited you guys and said like we really just rested the K-series in there, but now it is officially K-swapped and actually connected to the drive unit.
It actually turns things.
It turns things.
It's getting real.
Yep, once we get the wiring done and get all that plumbed, we got steering stuff on the way, just like I said, and it's gonna go pretty fast from here, boys. I'm just excited to get this thing in the water, give it its first test drive. So I guess the next major hurdle will be just that steering stuff and getting everything sealed up back here around the jet drive unit. We have a couple more stitch welds we wanna do on the jet block, so we are gonna be pulling it apart just to do that. And then we have to also reassemble our jet unit because it doesn't even have the impellers and stuff in it right now. But the jet boat has been a process, boys, but it's coming. Freaking pumped. That was a major piece out of the way.
Yep.
Everything's hooked up and spinning. I cannot wait to get this boat in the water already, guys. It doesn't look like we've made too much progress compared to the last jet boat video, but getting that custom flywheel here and getting the drive shaft made was a big step out of the way for us. And I mean, just look at that. The K-series is actually attached to our jet drive unit. Everything looks like it's going to work great. You know, like I said, we had our concerns with K-swapping the jet boat, but we are actually K-swapping our mini jet boat. So I'm pumped on that. And I'm also really glad that the engine mounts lined up so good as well, considering I made those before I had the flywheel or drive shaft made, and I just kind of guesstimated on everything using a factory flywheel. And we have plenty of clearance underneath it, and the drive shaft lines up really well. I still have to do some final measurements, but I mean, you guys saw it turning over. It is lined up, honestly, really good. I double checked the angle of the drive shaft, the angle finder, and everything appears to be great. I still need to double check the angles of both faces, and we just have some final measuring to do before we actually bolt the mounts into place. I know there was some talk in the comments about how I did my mounts, but I'm really happy with how they came out, guys. I know there is some of you that were concerned about the steel touching aluminum. You guys were worried that some like corrosion would be going on in between there. For one, that would take several years to see any sort of damage, so I'm not worried about that at all. And two, at the very least, I'm going to be painting the mounts. I'd really like to get them powder coated, so there's actually not going to be any raw metal on metal between the steel mounts and the aluminum hull of the boat. So for those of you that were worried about that, it's not going to be an issue, guys. Do not stress it. Looking back on it now, though, the only thing I would have changed is I would have ordered some aluminum blocks, or maybe some like 1-inch thick aluminum, or even like 1/2 inch thick, and just welded some thick squares down where the mounts were gonna go, just so I'd have a little more material to drill and tap into. Looking back at it, that's the only change I would have made, just because this isn't super thick and I'm still just going to drill through this and just tap straight into the aluminum. And I already tested it on a piece of aluminum that was the same thickness and saw how tight I could get the bolt before the threads will let go, and you can crank them down pretty good. So it's still gonna work just fine, but that would be the only thing I'd change, is give a little more material underneath those mounts to go to. And yeah, there's other ways we could have done it, boys, but that's how I did it, and it looks like everything's going to work great. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Hope you enjoyed, and we will see you later.